Good morning, everyone. It is day 28 of 84. Sorry, just woke up. I actually woke up a little bit late today. This morning my weight was only 224.8, which is crazy. I have a big drop on Saturday and then my weight stalls out Sunday. I'll lose a little bit, but I don't ever lose much on Sunday, which is so funny. Today's the last day not taking animal pack, so tomorrow I'll start taking animal pack again. We'll see how that goes. That makes a bigger difference on the weight, but still 2.2 pounds is a huge improvement. Yesterday I was feeling a little defeated in the gym after I worked my abs out. I felt like after losing 2.2 pounds, I didn't expect to see a six-pack. I just expected to see just about the same or just a tad better than the previous week. And honestly, I felt like my stomach looked better last week than it did this week. And it's just a little deflating whenever it's like, okay, so I'm down 2.2 pounds, but I looked better yesterday than I did today. I would look better last week than I did this week. Like, what's going on? So it's kind of like, am I losing too much weight too fast? And it's actually muscle mass. But it's like, there's no way, because the amount of food that I'm eating, I was eating the same amount of food previously and I wasn't losing but a quarter of a pound to half a pound a week. But every week I was looking different, but my weight was barely moving. Now I feel like my weight's moving a tremendous amount, but I'm not looking hardly any different. And I just, man, I know I've repeated it many times before, but I really don't want to end up losing my muscle mass. Like, that's what I always end up doing. Way too much cardio, not enough food, train too hard, and I lose all my muscle mass. And I'm just not wanting that. So I'm just got to be mindful of it and just, like I said, look at the tape measure, look in the mirror, make sure everything's moving the way it's supposed to be moving, because being 225, 224, it's like, dang man, 25 more pounds from now, you're going to be 200, and that's going to be a skinny look if it's not all fat and it's muscle tissue coming off, because it's like, you're not a big guy as it is already. 6 foot at 225, that's not big at all by any means, you know? So it's just like, I need to be cautious on what I'm doing. But I'm going to go ahead and make my coffee and drink my, oh no, today's carb day. I got to make my, oh dang it, man, I got a lot of stuff out to do. I got to weigh up my chicken. I got to cook my chicken. I got to make my rice. I got to drink my coffee, go on my cardio. So it's a busy morning and I got a little bit late start today, so I'm a little behind. Let me get going on all that. So here's a thought process about the whole second 12 weeks that I'm on right now. When I first started doing this 16 weeks ago, this is the end of week 16. Next week would be 17/5. I was hoping to lose around 1 to 2 pounds a week, and I did at the beginning, and then it slowed down to about half a pound, quarter of a pound. I know I've said this a lot. But the thing is, it's like every single week that went by, I was looking dramatically different, from half a pound to a quarter pound of weight loss. And I was still holding on my size. So I'm like, this is good. This is very good. So if I can continuously lose a quarter of a pound to half a pound a week, I won't lose any muscle mass. Then I started taking the animal cuts, and then my weight started plummeting off of 2 to 3 pounds a week. Then it's kind of like, whoa, that's way too fast. But then I kind of started getting excited to see the scale move in big numbers again. But I have to remember, like, moving in big numbers isn't a good thing. I know everyone talks about like 1 to 3 pounds a week for fat loss, but with me, if I'm not careful, I will burn up a lot of muscle mass in that process too. So I have to be very careful how much weight I allow my body to lose week to week. So having a 2 pound drop, 3 pound drop, it's good on the scale and it makes you feel good, like, yeah, I'm making progress. But at the end of the day, if I'm 220 pounds and I look like a string bean, that's the wrong 220, right? If I get down to a 16-inch arm, that's the wrong 220. If I still have stomach fat and my shoulders are looking really just narrow, that's the wrong 220. So losing weight is good, but losing the right weight is better. And if that means a slower rate, it's a slower rate. Like I'm almost to the point where my mindset is like, okay, even after not taking the animal cuts, you still lost 2.2 pounds, right? Still lost 2.2 pounds. So if you start taking the animal cuts again, the purpose of the animal cuts was to help you burn additional body fat without having to do nothing additional. So if the animal cuts continuously help you lose weight without doing anything additional and it's only body fat you're losing, keep riding that pony the way that you're going. Don't get off. Just stay on that ride. But if my measurements of my arms and my legs start going down dramatically and my waistline's not changing, then it's like, okay, what's going on here? Losing too much weight too fast and it's starting to burn muscle mass. So then from there, it'd be like, okay, let me go ahead and pick my calories up some. Let me add another 30 grams of carbs a day and another 25 grams of protein a day. And that should offset the amount of weight that I'm losing so fast and maybe slow it down from 3 pounds to 2 pounds or from 2 pounds to 1 pound. Give me more energy, make me feel better, and allow me to push harder in the gym and make more progress. Because ultimately, I'm trying to body build, not body shrink. I'm not trying to downsize and shrink. I'm just trying to get rid of the fat. So getting rid of the fat doesn't mean losing all my muscle mass. It means retaining my fullness and size to an extent, because you will get flat, you will start looking deflated, and your muscles will start looking smaller because you're losing glucose in the muscle tissue. It's going to happen. It's inevitable, right? But the thing is, it's like if I can mitigate that muscle loss and promote fat loss by slowing down my weight loss to a quarter a pound to half a pound a week, which is an agonizing rate. It's very slow. That's very slow. It's 1 pound a month. If you're doing a quarter pound a week, that's 12 pounds a year. But if I do that for a full 12 months and I go from, you know, let's say 224 down to 212, but I keep all my muscle mass, that's a good look. That's not going to be the same look that I looked at last year whenever I was 206. That's the thing too, because it's like, well, how do you know if you're making the wrong decision? How do you know if you're making the right decision? Well, I know the wrong decision is what I've done so many times in the past before, where I start increasing my cardio to a ridiculous amount every single day. I start decreasing my calories to a very low amount, and then I'm working out 6 days, 7 days a week. So I'm training 7 days a week, but I've broken up my training where it's not like chest and back, and then arms and shoulders, and then legs, and then repeat for the next 3 days, and then trying to figure out something to do on Sundays. Instead, it's literally I've broken my body up into 7 days worth of muscle groups to train a different body part every single day for 7 days, and then the body cycle restarts. So Monday, I get a full 6 days from training my back. So everything else I train doesn't affect my Monday. Same thing for my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nothing affects anything else. And the way I did that was allows me to train 7 days a week without feeling over fatigued, and it's working. Cardio, I'm not doing the Stairmaster, and I'm not running, and I'm not doing crazy cardio. I'm just walking twice a day for an hour a day. Something I've never done before, just a casual walk. Calories, I'm not going down. Whenever I make adjustments, it's always up. I would always end up adjusting down to like 2,000, 1,800 calories a day, and that's nothing, right? And now I'm eating 3,400 calories a day, and at the end of these next 2 to 3 weeks, if I end up losing too much weight and looking too skinny, the calories will be adjusted up. I'll add another 25 grams a day of protein and probably another 30 carbohydrates a day. I don't want to go the wrong way. I'd rather slow the weight loss down, hold my muscle mass, and look bigger and better while burning body fat then shrivel away to nothing. And then be like, well, you have to get flat. You're going to look skinny. You're going to look scrawny. You're going to look flat. That's part of it. Once you get down to a certain body fat percentage, you get really, really flat and you look like crap. It's like, no, I got to the point where I look like skinny and I look like crap because I was skinny and I look like crap, not because I was flat. I just look like crap. And I'm not going to go back to that. It is discouraging though whenever you see a big drop on the scale, but you don't see nothing in the mirror. And it's just kind of like, man, what happened? Where did it go? Where did it come from? And it's very, very defeating feeling, because it's like, I'm not trying to get skinny. That's the thing. Like that's what I want everyone to understand. Like, I'm not trying to get skinny. I don't want to be 200 pounds. I want to be 230. I want to be 240. I want to be big and muscular. I'm 6 foot tall. Excuse me. I'm 6 foot tall. So 200 at my height, I don't want to look that way. Like, I want to look around 230, 240 with a six pack, because I'm not wanting to be skinny. I don't want to be scrawny. My goal isn't to lose weight to be skinny. My goal is to lose body fat to look bigger and more muscular, and to be able to put body mass on and more muscle mass to get bigger, to be bigger. I want to be big and lean. I don't just want to be skinny with abs, and I don't want to be big with fat. I want to be big with abs, so I'm lean and muscular, not fat and gross or skinny and scrawny. So that's the whole concept. So losing 2 to 3 pounds a week is just kind of like, my God, there goes another 2 to 3 pounds of size without any major like benefit to it, besides I'm looking smaller and I'm looking skinnier and I'm looking like average in a t-shirt. I don't look like a bodybuilder in a t-shirt. I don't look like a mass monster. I don't look huge. I just look like a normal dude in a t-shirt. It's just kind of like, that's not the look I'm going for. I want to look big all the way around, no matter if I'm in clothes or if I have my shirt off or anything. I want to look the part of how I want to look. Oh, those dogs are so annoying. But yeah, so like I said, the whole concept is being big and muscular, not skinny with abs or big and fat. It's an image thing. And I think 230, 240, being lean enough to have my abs at 6 foot, I think that's a very good look. And that's around the image that I see myself. And I just don't want to have to keep losing 2 pounds a week. And that's why, before I got distracted by the dogs, that's why I was content losing a quarter of a pound to half a pound a week every single week. Because it's like, okay, cool, if I can drop just pure fat in the form of half a pound to a quarter pound a week and keep all my muscle and still look big and full and stay in the high 220s, mid 230s and look more muscular and leaner, that's the look I'm going for. That's what I'm trying to do. But seeing the scale dropping 2 to 3 pounds a week, but then the image isn't there. It's like, okay, cool, that's like 9 pounds in 3 weeks at 3 pounds a week, but it's like almost 10 pounds of weight loss. But where is it? Where did it come from? Where is it at? Because I don't look any leaner or any harder than I did the week before last, or the week before last, or the week before last, before the 9 pounds came off. And if I end up just looking skinny fat, that's the wrong look. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my walk. My arm's getting tired. High carb days are fun. I got my rice right here. This is white rice with hoisin sauce, soy sauce, and some sriracha. I'm also eating sourdough bread with it. And then this is actually my second meal of the day like this. And then we got this is cherry and cranberry juice is what that is. It is amazing. But anyways, I'm going to eat this. This is my second meal of this. And then I'm going to do some grilled cheese sandwiches. And then I'm going to do some bread, just some straight bread. And that should put me at 800 carbohydrates for the day. So after this meal will be cheese sandwiches. And the next meal after that, it will be just like a bread, like I said, and that'll put me up there where I need to be. And then from there, just gonna have fun with my cheat meal, and hopefully I'm not too full to not enjoy it. Rolling up to 3 o'clock. Oh, grilled cheese. Got my juice. But more importantly, my sourdough grilled cheese. I'm gonna eat this, and this is gonna put me at 652 carbohydrates for the day. And then I'm gonna work out, and then I'm gonna have another meal after that, which will put me up to 800 carbohydrates, and then it'll be my cheat meal. And still got to figure out what I'm going to do for that. But man, I still need to shave so bad. I'm looking awful. Just, that is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible. Look at that. Trimmed it up. Probably lost 10 pounds off my face just from trimming it up. Oh, what a difference. Okay, it is warm today. It's 74 degrees and the humidity is high, high, high. It feels nasty. Normally I start with seated calf raises on calves, but I'm going to start with standing barbell calf raises because I just feel like I can go heavier on them and I don't have to dip my heel down. And last week, to be completely honest, I felt like the bones in my feet were hurting me for like a day or two after doing the seated calf raises so heavy. So I'm going to save those for last just to kind of pump the muscle up as big as I can get it. And I'm going to use the standing calf raises as my heavy lift. And then I'm going to do the leg press calf raise as the in-betweener. And then do the seated calf raise as kind of just like the fluff and puff is what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to approach it. 3 different angles, 3 different leg position, 3 different flexion on the calf. So I like to train different movements and different angles. And because I can dip my heel so far low on the seated calf raise, I don't want to go heavy on that. I want to go heavy on a shorter range of motion. So that's where I'm going to do the standing calf raises with a barbell instead. Yeah, so let's get this going. Pretty much just like everything else I do, if I get south of 10, south of 8, I'll do a drop set. If I end up getting anything over that, I'm going to do rest pause. And I think I'm going to rest pause to a drop set on this. I'm going to take this pretty far. And the only thing I wish I did was set these J-cups down 1 pinhole, because coming off the rack is fine, but getting back on it, man, I'm just barely clipping it. So I have to be a little cautious for that. So I need to set them down, but I already have the bar loaded out, so it is what it is. I know 275 isn't like a tremendous amount of weight, but yeah, it's a good starting weight. This is something I could build into. I did this last week, but I did it at the end of the workout. This week I'm doing it at the beginning of the workout. So we'll see what the difference is on the rep range. Well, safe to say I could have went heavier. But I tell you this much, the ball of my foot under my big toe pushing down, man, that kind of started to be a little painful. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these pads over here and I'll throw this down, see if that can't put a little bit of cushion under the ball of my foot, because that was kind of painful. I feel like I had a needle stabbing me right in the ball of my foot under my big toe, where all the pressure goes. I was going to rest 10 breaths, but kind of started talking, so I don't know what my breath is. Really wish I would have set these down by 1. It's manageable, but just makes it a little bit difficult getting it back in the rack. I mean, it's calf raises. It's not that big of a deal, you know. Let's see if this makes a difference. Oh yeah, it feels a lot better. Oh. Yeah, definitely could have went heavier. Definitely could have lowered this down more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna shorten up the rest some. Really need to lower these J-cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely going to go up next week, that's for sure. That was way too light. Got a lot of reps in there. Took a while for the drop sets to come down, but because we got so much reps with the rest pause, there's no reason to do any drop sets on these. Kind of got the volume in there without meaning to. I don't know why, but for me, it always feels like the closer I get to a goal, the further it becomes. Like in the beginning, when you start losing weight, it's like, okay, it's the beginning, you know, we're just getting started. So every single pound is a pound of progress. And then as you get deeper and deeper into it and you get closer and closer to your goal, I feel like that's whenever the finish line starts to get further and further away from you. Cause it's like, man, I'm so close, but everything is slowing down so much. And it's like, is everything going the way it's supposed to be going? And for me, like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I hope it is. It's hard to tell because the scale is doing one thing, the measurements are doing another thing, but the image is doing something completely different. Tools of measurement, you know, they help, but at the same time, it's almost at a point where it's like, just cover yourself up, stop stepping on the scale, stop looking at the tape measure, and don't even look in the mirror. Do that for 3 months and let's see what you look like. But what if you do that for 3 months and then you re-gauge yourself and you're like, holy crap, I look like shit. It's like, that was a huge mistake. Like, I went in a complete wrong direction. Like, I ignored everything and how I look at myself and it looks terrible. But I just got to remember to have fun with it, you know. That's ultimately the end of the day. It's supposed to be fun to be in here and work out. And if it starts to become stressful,
because hitting a goal or feeling like you're falling short of that goal makes the gym a miserable time. Then it's not even worth having that goal. Then it's like, maybe change the goal, change the mile marker, change like what you're trying to get to, and get something else, like change the mindset, but keep pushing forward, you know, because ultimately I just want to have fun. Whoa. And you know, the thing too is I almost didn't do rest pause or drop sets this whole week. I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, maybe I shouldn't do any rest pause or any drop sets this whole entire week since I'm not taking the animal cuts. And maybe I should give myself a break from training that way. And that way, the next 3 weeks when I come in and I start training with rest pause and drop sets, my body kind of somewhat got unfamiliar to it. So that way it has a big impact on you again, because it's like if you've been doing this for the last couple weeks and you haven't had any change in your training, except for you're going up in weight and you're going up in reps every week, which is the basic principles of progressive overload, which ultimately that should be the golden standard of, like, if you're getting more reps and you're getting more weight, then you're improving. There's no question about it. But then it's also at the same time, like, but if you changed it up a little bit, gave your body a bit of a break, let it get unfamiliar to that style, and then go back to it, it might have a big benefit. What a massive drop in I guess strength, starting with the standing calf raises, the moving to the leg press, and then coming to the seated. I think I was doing 245s and a 25 aside, or possibly a 10 on top of that. I can't remember, but whatever the case is, doing this first, definitely I have a lot more strength to push on this, right? I mean, logically speaking, I'm fresh. My calves are ready to go. This would be the first thing I do. And then going to the standing calf raises, I was able to do 275 last week as well. And I started with 275 this week. Now, clearly I pushed a way more on the rest pause and did a lot more reps. But the difference between doing those first and these first is those don't hurt my feet. Those, when I do it, and what I mean is it feels like the bones in the bridge of my foot are like cracking. And it feels like the tendons and ligaments and the bones are under a severe amount of pressure when I do these really heavy. And it just hurts my feet so bad the next day or two, like just walking and being on my feet just hurts. And I can feel it while I'm lifting. So it's not like, oh, how do you know it's this? Because I can legitimately feel it whenever I'm doing it. My feet are hurting me really bad. It feels like the bones are being like put under a massive amount of pressure. But whenever I do those first, I have to go light on these, but it still feels like I'm going insanely heavy, which I feel is more beneficial to do it in this order than it is to do it the other way, to be completely honest. Because if I can avoid having foot pain, that is awesome. Plus, I feel this dead in the middle of the calf too. Like I feel it like dead center of the calf. Like it's no question that this is hammering the middle of the head. Being fatigued still or not, like going heavy or going lighter, I can feel the ball of the calf just working away. That's like where all the load is at. I don't feel it on my feet, you know? That's why I told you, if I go too far down on these, it just hurts my ankles and it hurts my feet. If I go too heavy, it's a little bit harder to control how far I go down before I come back up, because that lip on this allows my heel to drop down too far, and it feels like it puts the strain in other areas that just cause me pain, like not like muscle pain. It's like, oh, there's something terribly, terribly wrong here. So I figured I'd change it up, and you know what? I'm glad I did. And this feels more acceptable of a calf workout without having the aftermath of the pain. And speaking of pain, I've had some bad impingement in my shoulder ever since shoulder night. And you know, I did those straight bar overhead laterals, and I didn't feel anything in my shoulder whenever I was doing them. But the thing is, when you come up all the way like this, you're actually engaging your lats, your rhomboids, your traps, especially your traps, like going all the way overhead like this. If you don't believe me, just grab a barbell and pick it up over your head. You'll feel it in your center back. Have someone push on your hands down and then try to fight up against them and see where you feel it. You're going to feel it in your back. People want to do pull downs for their lats, right? And if you can do this down and that works the lats, why would this motion the other way around wouldn't work out the center? So it's like coming down works out this, and then coming up works out this. Coming down works out this. Coming up works out this. From here to here, yes, it's front deltoid. But once you get past that, it engages your traps. And then I also did the Smith multi-grip JM press. And I gotta tell you, I didn't feel nothing either on that movement, but now my shoulder is really bugging me really bad, and I've been doing a lot of deep tissue, and it's all in my lat scapula area. So that's why I'm thinking it might actually be the front overhead barbell raises. But I love doing those, man. They just feel good. They feel like they're hitting areas in my back and my shoulders that other movements just don't get. A lot of people like, you don't have to do front raises, it's a waste of time training the front delts, blah 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 blah. But it trains more than just the front delts. Like I'm telling you, like I feel that in my back and places that nothing else makes me feel that. Like I don't care what movement I do, what barbell row, T-bar row, pedale rows, close grip pull downs, wide grip pull downs, reverse grip pull downs, dumbbell rows, iso rows, seated cable rows. Like it doesn't matter what I do. Like doing that movement overhead, front barbell lateral raises, I feel that more in my trapeze area, and then right between my shoulder, like right around my shoulder blades and where my traps come back, connect and go down. All of that area in there is where I feel it more than anything. And that's, I think, one of the weaker parts of my back. So it's like, I don't think I'm going to stop doing them. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what it is that's causing my shoulder to be in like the impingement, and then figure out what I have to get stronger or what I need to correct to not hurt like that. Because I've been doing them with the dumbbells. But to be honest, I feel better doing them on the barbells. Because now doing the dumbbells, you have to stay in here, right? It's harder to come out here with the dumbbells. But with the barbell, you're fixed. You're in a fixed motion. So it feels better to me. And it's like, well, you should be training your shoulders on shoulder night, not trying to target your back. It's like, well, I'm trying to do my traps and my shoulders on shoulder night. So it's not just about the shoulders. It's about the shoulders and the traps. So doing reverse cable flies and doing front laterals overhead and shoulder press and everything else works out both. And I know it's like, why are you talking about your shoulders if this is calf night? Because I can. That's why. But let's go see what this pump looks like. Ultimately, at the end of the day, my biggest issue is I'm still way too fat and I'm still way too small, right? I'm too small and I'm too fat. So that's my biggest issue, is being too small and too fat. I wish I wasn't as small as I was, and I wish I wasn't as fat as I was. That is the biggest dilemma that I have right now, is being too fat and too small. Just a little bit of calf flexing. I'm not doing nothing crazy tonight. There we go. All right, I'm going on my cardio. Back to being windy. Okay, so we were super warm today, 74, with really high humidity and no wind at all. And now the temperature is supposed to drop down into the 40s tonight, and the wind's picking up, but the clouds are clearing out. So it looks like we have a cold front coming through that's going to push all the humidity out and bring in the cold weather. So it's probably going to be cold and windy. Oh goodness, I love the ever-changing weather. This year has been so wonky with the weather from spring all the way up until now. It just hasn't been consistent with anything, but I mean, it's okay. I like the years like this where the weather is just all over the place, because when the weather becomes too stagnant, I do get tired of it. So I don't mind the all over the place as long as I'm still able to get out here and do my cardio and walk around and do what I'm supposed to do. So my calf training went really well. I'm happy with the way it went. For getting the amount of carbs I got today, I don't feel like my pump was worth what it was, but I honestly feel like the day of high carbs doesn't actually do anything for me. I know for a fact it doesn't, because if you look at the science, it says it takes about 28 hours to 34 hours, or 28 or 32. It's like 32 to 42 hours or 28 to 38 hours for your carbohydrates to fully absorb into the muscle as glucose, to be able to get the maximum amount out of it, to pump it up and fill it up, to have the most that you can out of that glucose. So when you have a low carb day and you deplete completely and you just burn everything out of the muscle tissue, it takes a while for it to fill back up. And that's why Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my pumps look so good and my muscles look so full. But come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, everything's looking flat and deflated. And then Sunday, when I start eating a bunch of food, the only thing that happens is my stomach looks really big, distended, and bloated, but all my muscles still look flat and deflated. And that's because nothing's really absorbed yet. It takes a while. I know this. But it's hard to see it and remember it in the moment. But I know that the next couple of days, my pumps hopefully will be good. I am starting to feel skinny, and not in a good way. And I hate the skinny feeling. But again, I know it's part of the process where you start getting flat. I just have to keep reminding myself that. Just keep measuring your arms and your legs and your stomach. Take your measurements, watch the scale, and look at the mirror for your feedback. Tomorrow I start my animal cuts again, so any water retention that I regained this week from not having that diuretic should go away by the end of next week, hopefully. So if that's the case, if I'm having an issue with water retention, and that's what my biggest issue is water weight, and it's not actual weight loss or fat loss, it's just I'm holding a lot of fluid, then it's like, all right, well, let me figure out what the main cause and what the main reason is from that, and see if I can't fix it and address it. Or maybe it's just something that's going to be an issue until I get my body fat down so low that it's not really an issue no more. I don't know, I'm overthinking things. I'm just really overthinking stuff. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and go finish my walk. My arm is getting really tired holding up this phone. I'll see you guys in the next one.